Hi, in this video, Henry and I, this is my son Henry, we're going to be building, and this is Sticky Bot. What are we building today?
The impossible table.
The impossible table. So it's a pretty simple build. I think we've got there was a little bit of front end work we needed to do. We needed to print out a template so that we can trace it out. Henry, do you know what we're going to be using for this build? I'm going to put things on here and you say what they are, okay?
Wooden saws.
Okay, this one.
Wood saws and
Jigsaw.
jigsaw.
Circular saw.
Circular.
Router.
Router.
We're going to use some rope.
Rope. Yep.
And use...
Yeah, because it's impossible because you have to hold it up with rope.
That's right, that's right. And tape measure, pencil. We're going to use all of our PPE. The sponsor for this video is PPE. I'm spending some money that I have received in for the bed plans I'm using to build face shields for the local doctors in Sioux Lookout. And that's another project that Henry and I will be doing. I've received some help from my good friend Dirk, who sent me some templates. And yeah, so PPE is a big part of today's video. Oh, we have our template and we have our plans. Okay, so these things will all come into play in the video. Do you want to show everybody your sweet shirt? It's a future paleontologist shirt. Yeah, let's have fun with this, eh? We're Sticky Bot. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Sticky Bot in this movie. We started out by laying the template out on the 4x4 sheet of 3/4 inch birch plywood. It's what I had lying around. This is what I decided to use. And basically from this one piece of 4x4, you can get your 2 triangles and your 2, I guess we'll call them legs out of this. Obviously Henry was super helpful at this point. I got him to do something, help me cut the parts out using the jigsaw. This is the basically the table leg. I found if you just put one table leg on either side and then the 2 triangles in the middle, it worked just great. Henry wasn't too pleased about all the sawdust, but we got the job done. Henry was busy figuring things out.
Okay, now we have to put some of this on the bottom. Is our project finished?
To lay out the triangle, basically it's a 36 by 36 by 36 equilateral triangle with 60-degree corners. Just cut this out using the circular saw, which Henry found a little tricky to handle. Really easy, straight cuts. Henry, of course, being super helpful. Hey, how's the table coming along?
Table?
Yeah.
Looks good. Where is it?
And cutting out the other leg using the jigsaw. Technically, you could do this entire build using just a jigsaw. If you're really careful with your straight cuts, you could very easily do that with a jigsaw. Even Sticky Bot was around to help out. Bye, Sticky Bot. So we had all the pieces cut out.
Hi, this is part 2 of our video we're making. You will like it a lot.
I think so.
Once we've started it, it's going to be pretty cool once we finish.
So you saw how we used that pop can just to make around the corners off, and we're going to use the jigsaw just to take those corners off. Again, Henry was there to lend a helping hand. And then Henry used the sander that he made earlier out of an offcut and some sandpaper to help me get rid of all the burrs. Now going over to the router table using a round off bit. I'm not going to be putting any edge banding on this, so I think this will look all right. Now to lay out where the legs are going to fit into the plywood, basically I used the leg itself to lay this out instead of relying on the plans, just so that I was able to make sure that it was perfect. Now the way that I did this was I first drilled a hole into the 2 rectangles that I drew, and then used the router to step down at about 1/4 inch at a time, going about down to about 1/2 inch, a little more than 1/2 inch, so it didn't go all the way through the plywood. I used a knife and a chisel to square off that hole and fit the leg right into there after filling it up with some glue. I could have gone all the way through this, but I decided that it would just look nicer from the top if it didn't have the leg sort of protruding from the bottom. So it was a bit tricky trying to figure out how to do this, but I think it's going to work out really well. So I filled those holes up with glue and just jammed the leg in there. Let it sit for about 24 hours after squaring it up. Now this is a trick that I learned from the Out of the Box Thinker on YouTube. What I'm using here is an 1/8 inch drill bit, and these are just like your regular bamboo barbecue skewers. And I just put those in with some glue and hammered them into place. And I think it's going to hold up actually really, really well. So I did 2 on each leg going from different directions. And, it actually took quite a bit of force to hammer them in. I cut this one off using my dovetail saw, but I found that it did scratch the wood a little bit. So I decided for the other skewers, I just took my side cutters to it, and then I'll sand those nubs off later. Now to find the holes for where the ropes are going to attach to, it doesn't really matter what the dimension is as long as they're the same. So I made this little jig up so I could go to each corner without having to measure each corner and just drill the holes, super quick and very easily. I finished off the holes using my Forstner bit, and I started by drilling from one side and then turning the drill around and drilling up from below, just so that it doesn't get any tear out. And then the bottom section of the table, I actually drilled about probably 1/2 inch down using a larger Forstner bit. And the reason for this is so that when I tie the knots under the table, I can just fit those knots right into that hole, so it's not in the way of the table at all. Took the template, found the center of this leg, and then again, using the Forstner bit, drilled the holes out just enough so that the rope could pass through. I took the rope and I first melted it down a little bit before cutting it. This just prevents fraying from taking place. And then after I cut it, I just put the flame to it again. I put the table up on some sawhorses, tied the ropes to it. This made it a bit easier to align everything up and get the ropes in there and tie the knots. And after that was all done, I took the sawhorses away, and kind of to my surprise, it actually held itself up. It was a bit wobbly, so all I really did was tie the ropes a little bit tighter. And I found the tighter you make this, the more stable the table actually is. How does it work? What's holding it up?
Rope!
How's rope holding it up?
I don't know. Are we bringing it inside?
Not sure if Mom would like that in the living room. You gotta dress it up a little bit maybe. All right, ready?
Hope it holds.
Whoa!
I don't think it does! It doesn't hold.
Try to balance.
Whoa!
So the table's a bit wobbly, but I'll firm that up later. Because I have the patience of a 5-year-old and Henry is a 5-year-old, I actually put the table together before it was finished. So I took the time to sand off those knobs of the bamboo skewers, and then I just added a coat of polyurethane, just sort of a little bit nicer. Now, obviously, I'd love to use something other than this blue rope. If I get some chain or maybe even some monofilament line to sort of make it look like you can't see any ropes, it would be really cool. But hardware stores are closed right now, and I'm not really going to put anybody at risk so that my crazy table can look better. And as you know, part of this video is that we are making some face shields for the local health workers in Sioux Lookout. This is being supported by me selling the plans for the bed desk. So if you go to beddeskplans.com, you can purchase yourself a set of plans. Use the coupon code LAUNCH in order to save $5 off the plans. And I'm also going to post eventually the plans for this table on the website. I'm going to charge $1 for them, but if you don't want to spend the $1, you can just put in the coupon code El Cheapo, and you can have it for free. Again, the $1 is going to go towards one, supporting Khan Academy this month, and I'm also putting that $1 towards buying the materials for these face shields. If you don't know about Khan Academy is an online learning resource that's basically free. Anybody can join, anybody can benefit from it. I know I benefited from it greatly while I was in university. I probably wouldn't have made it through university without him, and I really appreciate the things that he's doing, especially now when everybody's stuck at home and we've got kids that need to learn, and maybe we're taking some time to learn some things that we didn't that we've forgotten about ourselves. So if you want to take the time and go over to the website and buy the plans, use the coupon code LAUNCH, save $5 off, and half the money will go towards Khan Academy and the other half will be going towards supporting my channel and channels like mine.